Welcome back to the grand finals of the ATS Gaming Tournament number 1. I'm B-Ball, and with me is Kingdom Nerdia. How are you doing today?
Wonderful. How are you doing?
I'm doing quite well, and this is again a replay cast of the grand finals that happened actually a week ago. Shoutouts to ATS-Gaming.com for putting on this tournament. Shoutouts to Complet and Steel Series for helping to sponsor the prize pool. And shoutouts to these two teams out of Tangoes and Ride in the Dark for putting on a good show for us in the grand finals. They both go away with a pretty significant amount of prizes, but I'm sure both of these teams definitely want a part of those bigger bucks. But anyway, are you ready to unpause?
Yes.
Alright, gonna unpause in 3, 2, 1, go. 37, 38, 39, 40. And just a little bit more rambling before I actually pass the mic over, is that this is 1-2 in favor of Out to Tangoes. Again, game 1, keep in mind Ride in the Dark came from the winner's bracket, so Ride in the Dark had a 1-0 advantage in this first to 3. Tangoes won game 1 in the first to 3 with their Magnus bat play. And game 2, unfortunately, the replay was lost because it's a replay cast due to some bad weather, so I couldn't stream it actually on the other time. But apparently, Tangoes won that as well, using their Magnus to shut down the Gyrocopter, who was the only DPSer on the side of Ride in the Dark. So this is game 3, so Tangoes, they only to win this game, and they win the grand finals. And just a little bit more background information on these two teams is that both of these teams actually played in the EMS Cup recently, and both fared pretty well. So even though these aren't the most well-known teams, they're definitely teams that have the potential to be very, very good, very, very fast. But anyway, pick and bans, Darkseer, Magnus Shout even. Ride in the Dark finally want Magnus on their side.
Yeah, absolutely nothing out of the ordinary so far, and it definitely makes sense that after losing 2 games to a Magnus, you'd either ban him or pick him up yourself. And I'm surprised Out of Tangos didn't actually just pick him up. They had the first pick. I guess they value the Darkseer higher.
Yeah, Darkseer overall usually has a bigger impact. He has a little bit more killing power with the Ion Shell, and Vacuum Wall definitely can lead to more frequent engagements. I mean, Vacuum, the fact of the matter remains is that even if you whiff one Vacuum, you can sort of get another one if you just delay the fight by 20 seconds. So that might be why. Also, Darkseer a lot easier to farm up with. Magnus can be shut down if using the offlane. Meanwhile, Darkseer can just go into the jungle. So there are a couple reasons why Darkseer might be valued higher, but overall, in terms of late game scenarios, Magnus does reign supreme in my opinion.
Yeah, I mean, Wall and Vacuum, basically everything Darkseer does is avoidable by BKB, but now we see that with the Lone Druid and Rubik pickup, it doesn't look like they want to go late game at all.
Yeah, Tangoes is very well known for the split pushing capabilities, so they're going to choose the Lone Druid as well as Rubik. Rubik has been very high pick recently, has had a really high winning percentage in professional matches, and Lone Druid, Darkseer, Iron Shell into the Bear, really, really annoying to deal with.
And I mean, Rubik is just an awesome hero. I mean, well, probably the most underestimated thing about him is that null field, that minus 25% spell damage, which against a Magnus who does a lot of spell damage, against a Shadow Demon, a lot of spell damage, it can be, and I'm assuming they're going to pick up more spell damage because it's something that you combo with a reverse polarity. It can be just a massive effect on game, especially late game.
Yeah, definitely, and also with the Rubik pick there, Magnus will have to be very careful to protect that RP to hide it. As soon as he casts the RP, he has to immediately get the Skewer, he has to immediately cast a Shockwave, or cast an Empower or something like that, otherwise Rubik will have the potential to steal it if he's not caught in the RP. So if Rubik positions himself correctly, he will always steal the RP, no matter how much Magnus tries to hide it. But anyway, just predicting the lanes, Tango is going to probably do Lone Druid, safe lane bottom with the Rubik. Helping him out from time to time. Darkseer probably off lane, but might start in the jungle, especially against a Shadow and Lifesteal combination, which can have the potential to shut him down. So on the other side of the equation, we're gonna have Ride in the Dark, Lifesteal, Shadow and safe lane, and it's yet to be determined where Magnus is going.
I assume he's probably going to the solo mid. I think that's where Magnus fits best in the current metagame. You can shut him down too easily in the off lane, and he has difficulty holding the solo lane without access to those runes, so I feel like he's best suited to that mid lane. However, he's also pretty easily shut down there because he is melee if you get the right hero to counter him.
Yeah, he has the potential to bottle courier with the Shockwave, but actually against the Lone Druid, he might have a better time in the off lane if they manage to pick themselves up a more high impact mid-game DPS like a Queen of Pain or a Puck, just because Lone Druid has a very, very difficult time killing people, and Rubik Telekinesis, it's really good, but it doesn't actually do too much damage. It just is good at lifting and setting people back. But again, once Lone Druid hits level 5, then Magnus will be very hard-pressed to actually stay in the lane. Keep in mind, if the Integral hits while the Skewer goes off, Magnus will get the Skewer off, but you'll still be ruined to the place that the Skewer ends. And we're going to see how Tangoes ban at the Undying, as well as the Windrunner. So it seems like they are predicting what you're saying. They think Magnus will go in the mid lane.
Yeah, I mean that really does make the most sense in my opinion. I mean, it's just where he does best. I mean, I would like to see though this lone druid. I think that out of Tangoes actually has a significantly more amount of options than Rat in the Dark at this point. Lone Druid, I mean, he's got a lot of options. He can offlane as himself. He can also go old school Chinese
10
style solo
seconds
mid,
remaining.
especially against a Magnetar. I mean,
5 seconds
they've got a
remaining.
they could pick up another carry here. They could put Darkseer into the mid lane, get another offlaning hero. I mean, they really do have a multiplicity of options.
Yeah, you're definitely right. As Lone Druid, I mean, I guess we'll find out very, very quickly because with this sort of lineup, if Tingles goes for mid lane and put Lone Druid in the safe lane, they won't really have too much damage, physical damage, coming in until Lone Druid picks up a big item. So if they manage to pick themselves up like a harder carry to deal with the Lifesteal, keep in mind Lifesteal actually does phenomenally well against Lone Druid. He's very tank, can go through the armor, go through the mass amount of HP quite easily. If he does get entangled, can easily kill the bear quite easily because the bear has quite low armor. But yeah, you might be right. It might be best for Tangos to actually put Lone Druid in a mid lane or off lane capacity and try to get
10
a
seconds,
physical
10
DPSer that can
seconds
sort of
remaining.
match up against Lifestealer and Magnus and Long. Because again, in
5
the late game,
seconds remaining.
Magnus, especially with the Lifestealer bomb, if they manage to kill the Darkseer, they will just be going unhindered over the side of Tangos.
Yeah, and I really do like this ban out of the Bane here by Rat in the Dark. That's probably the one hero left in the pool who can really handle Life Stealer, especially with a Shadow Demon there. Because I mean, you could go with the Beastmaster, but Life Stealer will just get defensive disrupt off as soon as the roar goes off. I mean, so really, there's nothing left to stop a Life Stealer at the moment except for Force Stabs.
Yeah, I mean, it's really hard to say what they could do to stop him unless they go for something
10
like a Beastmaster, like you
remaining.
mentioned. So out of Tangos, again, they're pretty
5
flexible at the one.
seconds,
We'll see
5
what they decide to
seconds
go for right
remaining.
now, as they are going to pick up the mid solo in the form of TA. TA, very high impact. The mid solo hero does do a lot of damage against Magnus Lifestealer, but not too sure. Queen of Pain is going to be matched up against her in the mid lane most likely. Magnus is probably going to go in the off lane now. Again, not the worst idea. Of course, Magnus will have a little bit more difficult time, but Queen of Pain does fare better against TA. And Magnus, again, not really in too much danger until Lone Druid does hit level 5, unless they pick up a really heavy burst damage support like Alina for Tangos.
Yeah, I mean, Queen of Pain TA, that matchup we've seen it like 5 million times. I guess we don't really need to talk about it, but it's pretty even. It can go either way. I kind of think that maybe Rat in the Dark might go with an aggressive tri-lane. Lifestealer is definitely capable of that. Shadow Demon definitely. If they get another aggressive support, Lina is another option for them as well. Jakiro, another option. They could definitely take this tri-lane aggressive, challenge Lone Druid's farm, and prevent any kind of early push from starting at all.
Yeah, I mean, that is definitely an option. One thing that I'm a bit hesitant to sort of commit to that, even though Shadowing a very, very tremendous aggressive challenge, he wants to have the soul kill level 2. And Lifestealer, his damage comes mostly from the mid game. He wants to get a lot of experience, which he won't get in the Trine unless they get a lot of kills. And again, it's always difficult to calculate how the Trine will go if they're going to face against a bear. But if they manage to pick up a very strong support, like something like Alina, Jakiro, or something like that, and we're going to see a Vengeful Spirit from Tango is going to give them a bit more pushing power with the aura, give them an chance to potentially swap out Magnus in the team fights. This is probably overall the best support they could have come up with.
Yeah, I mean that what is it? 36% at level. Yeah, 36% level 4 is just absolutely over the top. Coupled with the TA, that minus armor stacking with the Wave of Terror minus armor. I mean, there's just a lot of synergy in this lineup right now. And swap, of course, goes straight through Lifestealer's rage. So
5 seconds.
Yeah, you can potentially burst him down. Again, I think they'll probably be focusing down Magnetar. But there's Selena pickup, Lena Shadow Demon. Whoever gets matched up against that Sharon will be very, very upset. And the Luna pickup might be indication that Landark will have in fact to go for the offensive Trial, like you mentioned, as the players are going to pick their teams. In terms of Trial versus Trial and Lone Druid, definitely pretty weak. Vengeful Spirit, not too much range, and Rubik honestly doesn't really do too much damage, he just lifts people into the air. So in terms of Trial versus Trial, if Landark actually run an aggressive Trial, they should have the advantage, but still, it might be just better to just get Lifestealer as much experience in farm as possible. And he really wants experience, so it's going to be interesting to see how these lanes shape up.
yeah, I guess it'll depend on how they feel most comfortable and where their Magnus player feels most comfortable as well. Because getting him levels and getting him in early arc boots is also extremely important for their lineup.
Yep, so we're waiting for the teams to pick up their heroes. as I have to turn on free camera yet again. But we'll choose the players in the team. So on the side of Tangoes, we're going to have Frigolite playing the Venture Spirit, Step Styles playing the Rubik, Flox is playing the Darkseer, Sisso is playing the Templar Assassin, and the Maglev Gang Chain once again playing the Lone Druid.
And for the Dire side, we have Lapis playing the Queen of Pain, Boogie on the Shadow Demon, Stifla on the Lifestealer, Spin on the Magnetar, and is that JRX on the Lena.
Yeah, and actually Shadow saving up a decent amount of gold, has a Smoker to see very early on. Might just be the counter ward. I think this might be a safe win attempt and just get Magnus as much security as possible with these wards, because I don't see really any other reason for Shadow to hold on to his gold unless he wants a counter ward. So I think the Magnus or the Lifesteal Trident will eventually go into the defensive capacity.
Or, I don't know, they've canceled off both pull camps as well at any rate, so definitely putting some investment down into this bottom lane. Not quite sure to what extent yet.
Yeah, this is what Ryan and the Dark really like to do. They did this in the last game. Just block off all chances of pulling. And Rubik, if he managed to get a telekinesis off onto a creep, could break down these trees, making him mid lane definitely possible to be pulled. As I think the small camp, this is purely designed to shut down the Darkseer as well as prevent the pull. So Darkseer will just have to man up against the harder camps, and that's going to stun his jungle by quite a bit if he can't farm up against that small camp.
Yeah, it does look like he's actually going to go ahead and go straight up to that top lane, not even going to try the jungle thing. It looks like using the Spirit Bear to try and get a creep pull for himself, and should be able to get that off without too much difficulty. The Dire, I don't know if they can try. Can I go ahead and disrupt it maybe? No. Just going to right-click it.
Yeah. I guess Lifestealer didn't want to put that point into the Rage, which could do additional damage, but wants to have access into the slow. So Lifestealer just going to man up. They're going to stun the Bear as well, dealing decent amounts of damage. And Bear, probably not too worried about this if he gives up the gold, but nice pulling by the Dire as well, pulling the Rain creep waves. Nicely done by Lifestealer, anticipating that. So Bear will have that Bear up very, very soon. And actually, you can't resummon it until level 2. So as this, Magnus can play a bit more aggressive in the lane, but we're already seeing the harass by Rubik. And again, the killing potential with the Vengeful Spirit against the Magnus is definitely a lot more powerful than it would have been with just a Lone Druid and a Rubik by themselves.
Yeah, that stun, actually, Vengeful Spirit stun is very powerful. This duration is not incredible, but the damage as well as the ability for Lone Druid to get into position for even a Bear body block just puts their killing potential to the next level.
Meanwhile, the Rain immediately double counter-warded up, taking out both of the spots. I guess they have previous knowledge again. They played against Ryan in the Dark in Game 1, which they placed pretty much the exact same wards. I don't think they got the Radiant small camp ward, or they even bothered to try to cancel that ward. So they might just not get that all together. But Darkseer, he will probably have to go in the jungle most likely, because Bear eventually will want to have access into that Bear very soon. Otherwise, Lifestealer, once it gets involved in the feast, the Spirit Bear will have a pretty difficult time in terms of trying to keep up those creep pulls.
Yeah, and it is a great strategy to help out the Darkseer get some levels, but even with a couple levels into Surge, Darkseer is going to have a lot of time surviving against this tri-lane because of that disruption, because of that Light Strike array. There's so many opportunities for the Dire to slow him down even after he gets that Surge off. I mean, this is going to be a rough lane for him.
Definitely, definitely. Meanwhile, in the middle lane, Queen of Pain versus TA. TA is rushing that bottle. We'll have it in one more CS. Meanwhile, Queen of Pain didn't rush the bottle, just got standard Queen of Pain items build with 100 gold left over. Again, she shouldn't be too hard pressed to sort of survive against this lane, but might have a difficult time in terms of lasting against Refraction. Again, that's always, like you said, in this matchup seems to be 50-50 for the most part, as most Queen of Pains hate this matchup, most TAs hate this matchup, but more often than not, and we see very high skill games, I think TA actually has the advantage.
Yeah, the ability to dodge that Shadow Strike using Meld is very important. Reduces Queen of Pain's early game damage by a significant amount, and you can see it already. Actually, Quap hasn't taken this. Oh, she took no, she didn't. I thought she took another point in stats, but she actually just taking her time spending that skill point.
Meanwhile, the Bear is just pulling, trying to juke whatever way they can dodge, but look at these. Dire Sports constantly pulling it up, as they're going to see Spin rotate through, saying screw the bottom lane. Vengeful Spirit just too strong with the damage, just going to try to jungle it up on the top lane, and he will get a bit of levels, really not too much gold to speak of, won't have those fast arcane boots anytime soon, but as it is, the Dire actually taking advantage of the Bear to pull these pull their own creeps, and now Darkseer, I think he might have to transition to jungle very, very soon. not even halfway to level 2 just yet.
Yeah, at that point into Ion Shell, he can get that level 2 pretty quickly. Unfortunately, the spell camp is blocked, so he's going to have a lot harder time. I really do like this warding by the Dire. Going to have actually a pretty big impact on this game if Darkseer cannot get a good early start.
Yeah, definitely, as we're taking a look at the last hits. Dire overall having a slight advantage in terms of farm, but keep in mind, it's only 2.5 minutes of the game. Anything can happen at this point. But Lone Druid should have an easy time in terms of getting last hit. The question is, what will he go for? Will he go for Fast Midas? Will he go for Radiance? Will he go for Mjolnir? I mean, Rat in the Dark, the only Blink Dagger they could potentially get is going to be on the Magnetar, or perhaps Lena if she somehow managed to get a huge amount of gold. But other than that, might just be better to get something like a Mjolnir, because Lifestar just laughs at Radiance.
Yeah, it doesn't do any damage. I mean, it will help if they... I thought maybe they were going to go for an earlier game push, but right now it looks like they might try and go something a little bit more late game oriented. That Vengeful Spirit, a very good late game support hero. Rubik scales fairly well. TA scales very well, so they've got their late game options.
And actually, Fox is just trying to sap level 2 from that top lane, not going back to the jungle, where he can have a bit of an easier time, but actually, the support's cleared out a couple of these lanes, so Darkseer are going to be denied a lot of farm. And Darkseer, one of those heroes who will always find his farm, but the sooner you can get it, the sooner they'll become more effective. If they manage to get early game ganks with the Ion Shell and Vacuum, Darkseer will be very difficult to keep back. But as it is, Darkseer's farm will be delayed immensely at this rate. And again, he will find his farm, but Ion Shell will definitely lose a lot of its effectiveness as this game goes on.
Yeah, I'm a little worried though, because the Darkseer doesn't really have like a big AoE damage or stun to combo that Vacuum with. In fact, the only AoE stun is the drop from Rubik's lift, and does that count?
I guess not. I mean, yeah, now that you mention, there's no real combo, and Darkseer is pretty much the easiest hero to combo with the Vacuum. I mean, Magnus is probably a close second with that reverse for polarity, but the fact of the matter is that Vacuum has such a short cooldown that it's pretty easy to set up combinations with him. So May getting a Jakiro would have been a smart option than Avenge, but I guess they really want to catch the Magnetar off. So the Darkseer, pretty much the only synergy he has in this lineup is the Ion Shell with the Bear.
Yeah, that one, and then I guess TA Psyblades, and that might be it.
Yeah, I think that's pretty much it. As Lap is actually outfiring the TA, but is going to be kept back. Is going to just get the Bottle Courier going, as the Rain do have the Rune Ward warded for the most part. And we're going to see some pressure being applied to this top tier 1 tower. We're going to see some rotation by Foxbox, as he's not yet level 3, but will probably hold down the assault for a decent amount of time, even with 1.9 shell.
Now that the creep wave is pushing out a little bit, he might be able to get a little bit more experience up here, and then he can also at least slow down Lifestealer's farm to some extent. Lifestealer he's got the Mana Midas recipe coming to him on the Courier, and he's only a couple last hits away from that finished Midas, so definitely gonna get those levels, get that farm up like you were talking about before.
Meanwhile, the Radiant were actually auto-attacking the creep wave to push it down faster. Bear finished his Midas. Gonna use the Spirit Bear made to try to pull the creeps. Now they're just gonna auto-attack them down. And this bomb tier 1 tower will definitely die. There's pretty much no reinforcement that the Dire can actually do to sort of counteract this. As just taking a look at Magnus' farm, level 3, got 2 points of Shockwave. But still, this tower is gonna die. The question is, can Maglev Gang Train actually get the last hit, as he is just gonna re-summon the Bear? Not at full HP, but he doesn't get the last hit, unfortunate for him. But still, a free tower, more gold for his supports. Definitely not too displeased with that exchange.
I like this early point that Vengeful has gotten into the Wave of Terror to reduce armor on these creeps while they're pushing like this. I think that's actually a really smart decision on her part.
Yeah, I mean, it's interesting that you mentioned that as Magnus is being driven back now that the Lone Druid is level 5. He does have potential to be entangled. But it's interesting that you mentioned that, because in the old school Dota days where we saw Vengeance all the time, it was sometimes put 1 point in the missile, max the aura and the terror, but more often than not it was max missile and terror, and then get the aura very later on. But as you see pushes coming more and more into the composition of games, it's definitely more prudent to pick up that point to command aura like you mentioned, or the Vengeance aura. But still, terror gives you vision, gives you armor, can actually do a bit of damage to the creep, so it can't be underestimated.
Yeah, I mean, all of Vengefull's Spirit skills are very strong, especially, I mean, I'm a big fan of farming Ag Stick Venge, but, you know.
It's
10-second CD swap. It's OP, man.
Yeah, you swap yourself in, and then everybody else surrounds you and kills you. It's good, but only if you're ridiculously tank on bench for whatever reason. Otherwise, you probably will die. But anyway, Darkseer gonna defend the top lane. Should be okay, as he is gonna hit level 4, and here comes the support by Vengeful Spirit, and so far the Radiant doing a nice job responding to the pushes, so out of Tangoes might be well on their way to claiming the tournament title.
Yeah, they definitely have a massive level advantage right now. Shadow Demon is still level 2.
That's pretty bad. I actually didn't get a point to Soul Catcher, got a point to Shadow Poison to scout out the wave, and probably to push down the wave a little bit harder with that poison AoE damage. But as it is, only level 2 like you mentioned, really not going to do too much damage in these engagements until he hits at least level 4. But even then, he'll do basically no damage.
I mean, he has 500 HP. I'm pretty sure TA with like 1 meld can kill him in 2 shots right now.
Yeah, especially with the phase boots, TA actually well on our way towards the dagger. As the CS in mid lane been even for the most part, as Queen of Pain does have a TP scroll, so if the Rain play a bit too aggressive, they could potentially be counter-ganked. But here comes the engaged telekinesis onto the Queen of Pain. Gonna see our first blood, 8 minutes in the game, actually Queen of Pain. I think that was level 1 blink, because she did not blink back very far whatsoever. Yeah, it was level 1 blink, as I was pretty surprised. I thought even level 1 blink. She was in the middle of the river and actually just blinked back to the ward, but I thought, you know, level 1 blink would send her back a bit further. But as it is, gonna give up the first blood.
I don't think it would have helped. 12 seconds CD, and there was a trap on the high ground.
Yeah, really, not too much she could have done right there. As Leicester gonna rage off, try to kill off this Iron Shell creep as much as possible. Saw the rotation by the supports of the Radiant middle, but still, Darkseer now starting to get his mojo rolling. He's gonna hit level 5 very, very soon, and Iron Shell at this point does still hurt, especially against squishy supports. But we're going to see Shadow use the Shadow Poison to drive Darkseer back, always threatening with that disruption. But as it is, can they actually kill this tower? They will clean it up. Leicester patiently waiting for the last hit, will successfully secure it, and that's going to go a long way. Will he go for the standard phase drums build? No, went for the treads minus, and I guess now he'll go for the armlet rather than anything like a drums.
Yeah, at this point, Drum won't help him out as much, I think. Armlet's going to be way more effective in terms of damage as well as survivability.
Yeah, in terms of chasing, he doesn't really have to chase. He has so many stunts on his side, and even Queen of Pain has a slow, so if he can't sort of get the person while they're stunned, there's really... I think the overall damage boost that something like an armlet compared to drums would just be more essential rather than anything like chasing items like drums. Even though drums is a really good item, it is still 1700 gold, which could fund two-thirds of an armlet.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. A lot of players go for both right now on heroes like the Lifestealer CK, but I feel that delays their late game items a little bit too much, as Lifestealer is, especially in this game, going to have to contend with Lone Druid just in terms of being the boss mid-game. And that's really, I think, where this game
Meanwhile, the boss of that river was the Queen of Pain with the Sonic Wave. Magnus was able to hit level 6, got a reverse, but Darkseer able to speed away. Queen of Pain won't be able to catch him off, so 2 ultimates going to be on cooldown. Managed to secure themselves a Rubick kill, and at this point, any kill is a very, very essential kill, especially to Magnetar. Feeling his gold intake as Light Strike Away does whiff, and TA is going to be driven back very close to that dagger, but there is some good news for Rain. The cooldowns on the ultimates are quite long at this stage.
Yeah, that is one thing that the Dire is hampered by, is those cooldowns, not only on the reverse and the scream, but also on the Infest and the lights. What is this thing? Laguna Blade. That's the name of it.
Yeah, meanwhile, we're just going to see some counter-warding it up as the Radiant have a pretty unusual ward, just spawning out the movement from the cliff. As meanwhile, I was blabbering about wards. Floxbox going to die to the Lina as they dove him quite far. I guess the Dragon Slave managed to hit him on just the edge, or just surprising to know, the Laguna Blade probably just right on the edge of Lina's vision. That Laguna Blade has a pretty hefty cast range.
Yeah, I think he was... I don't know why he didn't just go back to base. He was sitting at, like, less than 100 HP.
Greed is bad sometimes. As Darkseer level 5 elements in the game. Respectable considering he's in Charlin, but usually we see Darkseer's level 8 at this point. As they're going to see Wraparound Gang onto the Lone Druid. Can they place a Soul Catcher? The Bear is blocking it off. Here comes Skewered backward, and Lone Druid, not in the ultimate form, will end up dying, as he is going to lose a lot of farm. Nice ganks by the Rat in the Dark, as they do not want to be knocked out of the tournament at this point. They are fighting back with all they have.
Yeah, excellent rotation from them. This is, however, giving TA a lot of free time in the mid lane since they've been fighting in other places. She's now got her Blink Dagger up.
Yep, meanwhile, Lifestealer does have 2,400 gold in the bank. Is going to pick up the armament. We'll have it about 150 gold, 180 gold. and then he'll be very hard to kill, pretty much ungankable at this stage with the almost max level of Rage. Will be very, very difficult to kill as Magnus picks up a kill on the bottom lane against Vengeful Spirit. So they're doing a nice job in terms of keeping down the supports. The question is, will Queen of Pain get ganked right here? No. Again, very difficult to actually engage her unless they wrap around because they only have a couple stuns in their book.
Yeah, only the Rubik stun and the Venge stun, and Venge being dead, she doesn't really help at the moment.
No, it doesn't really help whatsoever. As usual, you need to be alive to make best use of your skills, but, you know, whatever. As Queen of Pain, wonder what she's going to go for, as I don't think she'll need a fast BKB. Might go for Aghanims or straight up Hex. At this point, not too sure what she'll go for.
I think she could go ahead for the Aghanim. I mean, it's not really worth it if you get it before you're level 16 because then it doesn't drop the cooldown by enough to really be worth the 4,200 gold. But either of those, she's currently at a spot where she'll probably get it around level 16, and a Hex also would be absolutely wonderful against this TA, against this Lone Druid, against this Darkseer.
Lone Druid actually saving a lot of money. Looks like he is going for Radiance, and again, it's not going to be good against a Lifestealer. But I forgot to mention, I mean, I did mention the Iron Shell Bear, but the Iron Shell Bear Radiance does so much as Foxfox going to get engaged, taking a Luna Blade right to the face once again. And Foxfox might be time for him to rotate to the jungle, because actually, at this point, level 7 Darkseer, 13 minutes in the game. Definitely not the best start for Foxfox, as he is going to be denied a lot of experience, and going to be denied a little mechanism till very later on.
Yeah, Dire are confused out of their minds about this ward in the mid lane. Dropped, I think, did they drop 2 sentries? No, they just dropped 1 so far, but cannot find this random weird ward up on the Dire high ground there.
Yeah, I mean, it's okay. I guess it sees the movement, so TA will always be safe. And I guess this ward is mostly just to say, alright, we're not going to push, we just want to farm there. Or maybe they are going to push and they don't want to be flanked. But at this point, they're not going to get pushed. The tower's still at 2/3 HP. So that ward sees the movement. It will see the Shaladin rotating around, but they already had the trap there. Shaladin might be able to get a disruption off, trying to venture very close, but the trap does get popped. Will slow down the Queen of Pain for quite a bit. But yeah, just considering the game, Radiance Bear with Iron Shell against Lifestealer. Who do you got?
It depends on first hit entangle chances. I mean, that's really the only thing that that the Radiant have to go through that Rage right now is that entangle, and if they can get the entangle off and slow him down enough to right click against him, Radiance not only does the magic damage, it gives them a freak ton of damage to right click with as well. So they might be able to burst the Lifestealer down that way. Otherwise, I think Lifestealer should be able to just have his way.
And Queen of Pain gonna get a bit of Shadow Strike damage onto the Templar Assassin. Meld is gonna avail herself, but Templar Assassin should escape. As I think the Radiant, I was about to say, they're not putting enough attention on the Magnetar. He has Arcane Boots and 1,200 gold in the bank, 1,300 gold in the bank. But now they're going to rotate in, but it might be a bait as there's 2 smoke supports up. They are going to try to find the Lone Druid. Here comes the Disruption. Vengeful Spirit with the stun. Here comes the Telekinesis as well. Will stun the Lena to the ground by a nice 3-round verse. The question is, where's the damage going to come from? It's going to come from the Dragon Slave as well as the Shadow Poison. Going to get a 3-man kill right off the bat. Magnus still trying to survive. Can he escape? No, he will end up dying, but it's going to 3-for-3 exchange. Killing the Lone Druid, definitely worthy trade for Ride in the Dark, as that was a reverse polarity and a half right there.
Yeah, massive hits, all 3 of them. Also very good Rubik stun. Actually managed to drop Rubik stun on 3, but I mean, not as big as a reverse.
Yeah, you saw, even though Lone Druid was in his ultimate form, Soul Catcher with the RP and the Lena damage, just too much as Queen of Pain gonna get lifted up into the air. Scream of Pain just scare back slightly. And Magnus, he didn't die till very late on in that engagement, so he actually picked up a decent amount of gold. It is working towards his Blink Dire, and this might come back to bite the Dire in the ass a little bit, not paying enough attention to the Magnus, as he was pretty much eliminated from the game for the first 5 to 8 minutes of the game.
Yeah, and I think the major fact is that they got the kill on the Lone Druid, who, although he is level 12 and keeping up in name with the Lifestealer has so much more items. Lone Druid, no, he did get his relic, never mind, so he's fine.
Yep, we'll have the Radiance up in about 300 gold, so he's not doing too badly. That might's definitely helping out quite a bit, but still, Magnus just never can underestimate the hero. Actually very close to level 1, only about 350 gold away from finishing that dagger. So once that gets into the picture, it's going to be very, very difficult for the Radiant to actually engage them head on, unless the Darkseer gets farmed, and at least Foxfox finally is starting to get some far for himself, almost has the mechanism finished, and is getting close to that level 11.
Yeah, I mean, the team fight is totally on the side of the Dire, I want to say, just because you don't have anything to combo with that vacuum. I mean, Darkseer, the greatest team fight hero in the game, arguably, but with no combo, he's just like, you know.
Yeah, I guess they could vacuum into throw down a bunch of burst damage on somebody like the Magnus or the Lifesteal before he can pop the Rage. But still, there's still four other heroes who deal immense amounts of damage. Pretty much everybody on the side of Rat does do a lot of damage, aside from the Shadow who helps other people do a lot of damage. So, Lifesteal or the Vacuum, in terms of securing one kill, will be useful, but in terms of overall 5v5 engagement, Rat in the Dark definitely has the advantage, especially with nobody to combo into, like you mentioned, for the Darkseer. And we can check out the gold graph. Slightly in favor of the Dire. They do have even tower count for the most part, but overall the gold graph doesn't really see too big. Experience graph is very, very negligible. Again, slightly in favor of the Dire, but as it is, I feel like the Dire definitely have a stronger position in this game.
I mean, not only just because that they've got the bigger team fight, but they've also got like Lone Druid only getting I think 17-minute Radiance Rush. I'm not too impressed with, and Lone Lifestealer has a Power Treads, has an Armlet, a Hand of Midas, and another 3k gold in the bank. So he's going to have most of an AC, most of a Mjolnir, most of like whatever he wants to go for next, basically.
Yeah, if he manages to get something like a Deso, Lone Druid will just die, but I don't even know if Deso is necessary if they manage to get a Soul Catcher off. So maybe something like an AC, like you mentioned, to help them push in. Could be useful against the Darkseer as well as Avenge. But yeah, at this point, Leicester can pretty much go anything once. Even a Basher, in terms of holding the Darkseer or the TA in place, could be very useful. And one thing I'm a bit surprised about, TA 2-0-1 is getting some kills, but I feel like she's pretty much been unnoticed for most of this game.
Yeah, she did manage to rotate down to that bottom lane and pick off the end of that 3v3 team fight down on the bottom and get some experience from that, finishing off the Magnus. But for the most part, she's been sitting in her lane and farming, and she does have a Blink Dagger and starting a BKB. She's got that Mithril Hammer up, so she will. I'm assuming that's a BKB and not a Desolator. It could be a Desolator, but I think a BKB would be a better option for the most part. Block the co-op damage, block the Lena damage, block the Shadow Demon damage, block most of everything, really.
Yeah, so, I mean, even Magnus, even though the stun does go through, the damage does not. And the damage is definitely nothing that can be taken too lightly for the Magnus. RP can never be taken too lightly. But, yeah, maybe once she sees a Lifesteal item, she'll be able to determine whether she should get the VKB or the Deso. If Lifesteal picks up something like a Basher, then BKB probably won't be the best choice. But still, Lifesteal doing a nice job hiding himself within jungle. And again, Lone Druid will have that Radiance up very, very soon. The question is, where can they push? As actually, the Radiant do have a tower advantage, I forgot to mention, compared to the Dire. And so the gold graph being slightly in favor of the Dire. A little bit worrying.
Yeah, and I mean, that's mostly just because that the Dire have been surviving their kills to an extent. Darkseer having just such a big impact. Ordinarily a very strong farming hero, but right now just really not able to get anything accomplished. And he does have 2k gold at the moment, probably going for that hood, I should imagine. Pipe going to be absolutely
Probably
critical
going to be the Mecha.
Um,
That's what I'm guessing. Because who else are they going to get the Mecha on? And they definitely need it against the mass AoE on their side. I mean, Hood going to be useful, but only for Darkseer. It's going to be a long time before it gets a Pipe. So I think it's going to be a Mecha. I think Mecha might be the better choice here. But actually, yeah, I don't know, because he doesn't have Arcane Boots, so he might just run out of mana very quickly. Is there any Arcane Boots on the side of Radiant at all? They do have one on the Rubik, but that's it.
Yeah, I mean, mana is going to be an issue for them. Venge has some mana problems as well, and she opted for the Tranquil Boots. I mean, it makes sense. I mean, kind of, it'd be weird to have an Arcane Venge, but I feel like they're going to have mana problems. I mean, Darkseer is just such a mana problem hero.
Yeah, especially with Arcane Boots, especially with Mechanism, like I've been suggesting, because they who also get the Mechanism on their side, but Mechanism does cost quite a bit of mana, even though the heal is very important. So that might be an issue, but considering at this point he doesn't have any points in the wall, it looks like they aren't going to try to take any engagements anytime soon.
Yeah, I mean, they need... I don't know, it's kind of like... I feel like there's a tension in their lineup, because Lone Druid is... I still kind of see him as like a 20-minute push kind of hero. Get that Radiance and go, or get that Mjolnir and go. And that was what the lineup was starting to look like when they had the Darkseer, who's very capable of that 20-minute kind of push. The Rubik as well, very strong at that point in the game. Currently has Blink stolen from the co-op, so very good pickup in that regard. But then, I mean, TA can be pretty good early game, but she's been having some difficulty really getting rolling. She's a snowball hero. And then on top of that, Venge is definitely a later game kind of thing. So I don't know. Like I feel like they're not going to be able to push early, and then Lifestealer's just going to get too big.
Well, I think we've analyzed enough of the Radiant for a bit. Let's just take a look at the Dire before the disconnects happen. Um, so the Radiant, if they manage to kill something like the Magus in Teamfight, I think they have a pretty solid edge, because they can potentially dodge around the Lina, kite around the Lifestealer, but still, once Magnus picks up the dagger, it's going to get a lot more difficult. So it's going to be difficult for the Radiant, but they do have some options. Again, Lone Druid just really needs those entangles, and then they have a pretty decent shot.
Yeah, I mean that's the iffy thing. That's the big iffy thing that they probably have to worry about. Does finish off the Radiance right now. Has the gold in his inventory.
Yep, as he's just waiting for a bit. Nobody threatening, checking out the wards. Mostly just wards to protect the runes for the most part. Just check out the ganking paths. Gonna have Lone Druid farm up on the bottom lane for quite a bit. And the wards on the Dire just trying to protect that middle lane, prevent any pressure coming in. Looks like they really want to hold on to the mid tower for quite a bit.
Yeah, that Roshan control is going to be pretty important, especially since they've already lost the tier 2 bottom towers. But now this bottom lane is pushing out. Looks like Magnus is 1 CS or 30 seconds, whichever comes first, away from his Blink Dagger. So that's going to start to be a big problem. And also level 11.
Meanwhile, Radiance, once it was finished, Lone Druid immediately got a TP, teleported the mid lane, and I assume they're going to push. They're going to use the Radiance to try to apply a bit of pressure. And the Courier, Magnus still 9 gold short, does have the TP. Magnus does pick up the Blink Dire. I think he sold something because now he has a bit of extra gold, as he is going to have it, and the Dire do not know about it, or the Radiant do not know about it, or should not know about it for the most part, as Magnus or the Lone Druid are going to try to use the Bear to drive away the supports. Leicester just going to pop his armlet, and this is going to be very tense. All eyes are going to be on the Magnus.
Yeah, he's sitting very far away, up on that high ground. Unfortunately, right on top of a trap, so they know exactly where he is. Bear going to stop his Blink Dagger from being usable.
Meanwhile, Sifla, the Leicester, going to go for the Desolator as they're going to initiate onto the Bear. Going to try to buy a bit of time, trying to kill the tower, but the Bear is going to end up dying. The tower is in deny range. And do they have a second Bear? They will summon the second Bear, but still too late. They're going to deny a tower. Didn't even have to use reverse. Got 100 extra gold in their pockets. Definitely an overall solid defense by the Dire. And looks like they might be positioning themselves to get some more in this exchange.
Yeah, if they can get that Blink off on the Magnus and get a nice reverse polarity off, they're definitely in a position to win a massive teamfight right now with that Quap ultimate up at level 2. Does look like she's going for the Hex. Has the Mystic Staff in her inventory already.
Meanwhile, Leicester just purchased a Desolator 20 minutes in. Leicester Desolator Armlet Treads Midas. Ridiculous farm. Checking out the GPM. 525, considering that the creep players are not starting to stack up and people are still farming the lanes. Really, really respectable farm by the Leicester at this point. Desolator going to be a very, very easy Roshan kill. And the Radiant might be able to spot the movement slightly, but still, there's really not too much they can do to defend this. They have Darkseer, but with 0 points in the wall, they really can't afford to take this team fight. As Darkseer going to finish the mechanism. He does have the Soul Ring to get him some extra mana. As the Bear is going to die once again, 100 gold once again going to the pockets of the Leicester, and now the Bear should be on call for quite a bit as the Lone Druid is going to take a Sonic Wave right to the face. Vengeful Spirit trying to draw away from the attention, will end up trading her life, but Templar Assassin has decided to join the game. She is immediately going to clean up a kill on the Shaladin. They're going to go back for the Rubik. Here comes the RP. Will pick up Templar Assassin from the high ground, but the vacuum back by the Darkseer. Leicester is going to be in a lot of trouble. Will lose Aegis right here, right now. And wow, Radiant gonna take this team fight. Surprisingly enough, can Leicester actually escape? Of course he can. No, the swap by the Vengeful Sphere. Completely forgot she was holding on to that. As here comes the Queen of Pain. Vengeful Sphere will get picked off. Leicester still doing work. Iron Shell not doing enough damage because TA is not venturing up close and personal to the Leicester. Leicester actually doing a lot of damage. Will escape. TA gonna barely get away. As man, that was a timely blank by the Quap right there.
Oh man, that was cheeky of the TA, sitting there meld up on top of the high ground, getting one last attack off before she blinks away to safety.
Yep, what is worrying is that I think the Radiant could have won that if they didn't sacrifice 2 bears in a row. That is, I mean, Maglev Gank Train, I've seen him play bear a couple of times now. Usually plays bear very, very solidly, but this game is bear control. Not really been the best, and I think if they had the bear, if they managed to get at least one entangle, they could have won that engagement, prevent Leicester from, you know, getting a couple more kills than he shouldn't have. Maybe even kill the Queen of Pain if they got an entangle, so Maglev Gank Train gonna have to be a bit more careful on his bear control.
I mean, it's a 5k bear right now, that when you die, you lose 5k worth of gold that you spent farming for that first half of the game. So, I mean, I really don't feel that he can throw its life away like he has been. He's just been kind of using it like a mobile blink dagger canceller, and you need that bear for the right click, you need that bear for the entangle, and without it, I really don't feel like they've got the capacity to take out this lifestealer solidly in a team fight.
Yep, gotta agree with you there. One thing that is gonna be in the Reign's favor is that if the bear survives, they now have the vacuum wall, and considering they managed to make that team fight look almost even though in the end they did lose it, Reign still have a lot of kick left in them, and now that Darkseer will be closing on that level 12 very, very soon, I think they should just farm before pushing in so they can get that longer wall up as well. But still, the Reign do have some options, and now that vacuum wall is going to be part of the picture.
Yeah, I mean, I do have to worry a little bit because Lifestealer's getting more and more farm. I mean, seriously, he's sitting inside the Quap right now who has a double damager, and that spells doom for any hero that they land on top of.
Yep, TA Trap's going to scout out the movement all the while, as Yellow is going to pick up TP. TA should know something's up. She has the BKB to try to escape if things go absolutely wrong. They do have the Purge, but no stuns other than the Magnus stun. They might burn a reverse just to pick up the kill, as they are going to probably use the reverse right here to cancel a TP. No, TA just going to man up with the BKB. 10-second BKB down the drain.
And a very easy kill going the way of Quap. I mean, I don't think...
Yeah, I guess that trap didn't see her. Otherwise, TA probably would have been able to escape.
Well, I mean, they had vision. They saw the Quap. The bear scouted Quap out up on the high ground by the Radiant small camp, so I don't know why TA was still there.
Maybe he wasn't anticipating the entire team. It's really deceptive when Lifestealer is doing the Lifestealer bomb. As Sifla with the Desire, 2200 gold in the bank. Gonna take a bit of damage, just gonna open wounds a bear. Gonna lose another 100 gold. No, it's gonna get surged away. Nicely done by Flox. Actually, he's gonna run it back in. Not too sure why, because now he's just gonna feed it.
Possibly just to make sure that the Magnus doesn't jump on them running away, but I mean, he has no reverse up. They saw reverse go down on the Templar Assassin, so I don't know why they wasted the bear there. It was kind of unlucky, though. Got like 5 attacks off against the Lifestealer and not 1 entangle.
Yeah, Cloak was picked up, but still, Bear's getting away at least 300 to 400 gold just from those bear bounties. And I've seen Magla Gang Train play very solid bears, just like I guess this game's just not been too effective as Queen of Pain gonna do a bit of wrestling against the TA. BKB will be in the picture. Good Blade is popped. Here comes the Entangle. Onto that is the PRD finally kicking in, but it looks like Queen of Pain will escape. TA gonna try to blink forward, but Queen of Pain Blink Dagger, Queen of Pain Blink, such a short cooldown, will be able to escape very easily. Meanwhile, Lina gonna escape as well, and the middle tower gonna get besieged. Ring just getting split up all over the map.
Yeah, very good use of the Shadow Demon Poison here, scouting out the Radiant team. They know exactly who's coming.
Oh, Steph style lifting Boogie up into the air, but it should be okay, as Lester does claim another tower. Here comes Rain, gonna try to initiate. Floxlock's gonna take a Sonic Wave right to the face, as can he drop any spells? He's Soul Ringed and actually just took a Desolator. Died. Radiant, not too sure what they're doing this game, as they were managing to take a 2-1 lead, but so far, they're playing really bad. There's no other way to say it. They're playing really bad.
Yeah, getting their supports picked off all the time. Darkseer is having such a difficult time. Lundra trying to split push, but right now, Lifestealer coming to say, nope, can take your bear, man.
And the bear will be on cooldown for the next half minute, as no, it is going to resummon itself, as Lifestealer just a little bit too slow. As without the phase, can't really afford to keep up with the bear, but again, 4.2k gold in the bank. So maybe the Ring were feeling a bit too cocky at those 2 successive victories against Ryan the Dark, but as it is, they might have to wake up, because right now they're not looking in good shape. As checking out the golden experience graph, gold not the biggest deal, only around 4k gold difference, but the experience graph tells an entirely different tale.
Yeah, Bear picking up a plate mail, so probably going to go for that Assault Cuirass to stack with the minus armor, obviously from the TA, as well as the Vengeful Spirit. So with that, they ought to be able to burst down some heroes a little bit more quickly. I'm just worried that they don't have a lot of lockdown to keep the Lifestealer from just going to town.
Well, Darkseer now finally has a Ghost Scepter, so as long as he doesn't Ghost Scepter the Sonic Wave, should be able to survive a lot of these engagements, even if he does Soul Ring and Lifestealer initiates on him. Meanwhile, TA, 3-1-2, she hasn't died too often, got a BKB, already forced to use only 1 charge in that previous death, didn't have to use in that bottom lane engagement. So again, Radiant always have an opportunity, never say never against the Darkseer, but if Magnus is working on his refresher, which I think he's starting to work on, it might be getting a bit ugly for the Radiant very, very soon.
Yeah, 2,500 gold up on him. And actually, going back to the Ghost Scepter on Darkseer point, you also have to worry about a Laguna Blade.
That's true. Especially with nothing like a hood or a pipe in play. Only the raw mecha.
Yeah, I mean, it's one of my favorite reasons for picking up a Lina or a Lion in a game is just like, okay, look, I dare you. Buy the Ghost Scepter. Please.
Yeah, there's pretty much... That's what Lina is good for, as she pairs very well with Shadowdemon, and she owns Ghost Scepter heroes. As that's why she works well with Lifesteal so often, because Lifesteal likes to get Shadowdemon on his side, and Lifesteal does a lot of auto attack, while Lina can just Ghost Scepter as Queen of Pain gonna get lifted up into the air. Nice smoke gank. Gonna be able to... Oh no, no entangles yet again. No, there was no bear in the picture. That's why there were no entangles, as where was the bear?
It was on the bottom lane getting picked off. The 4-man gank on the bear.
Man, good reactions by the Dire, seeing Queen of Pain in trouble, killing the bear. And so Queen of Pain was able to escape, and Dire gonna claim another tier 2. And that's like 600 gold just in pure bear gold being given away to the Dire, as that should be another statistic on the gold graph. That's probably accounting for almost 1k gold for the Dire in advantage.
Yeah, they should definitely have a button for that, including Spider or Eidolon feed as well. But Skullbasher picked up on the Lifestealer now, so he's going to have an ability to shut down the TA. And actually, he's got the gold to finish the Abysmal now.
Yo, Abyssal, really good now. Lumi, always wrong.
I just think it's funny. I know it's a good... I can't call it anything else. That's too funny, man.
Yep, as Lina, I think that might be a dagger being shipped towards her. It is going to be a dagger, so now they have more initiation. So now if Magnus gets initiated on, they have Lina to set up a little bit of a mini reverse if they manage to get more than one person into the light stack array. She is almost level 11, almost has that level 2 Laguna Blade against a Ghost Scepter Darkseer. Will hurt like very few other spells in the game will. And meanwhile, on the side of the Radiant, TA with the BKB and Blink Dagger, not too much end progression being made there. Bear trying to make his way towards AC. How far away is he? Still reasonably far away.
Yeah, I mean, just the level of advantage that the Dire has on those really important heroes. Lifestealer, like we just said, has the Abyssal Blade. Queen of Pain is sitting on like 4k gold right now.
Oh wow, and she finished the Hex, which I forgot to mention a while ago. And the fact that she has 4k gold means that she's had the Hex for quite a while, so pro map awareness.
Yeah, she's going to be getting that Ag Stick, I assume, next. It's going to be in like, what, 40-second CD on that ultimate?
No, it's a BKB.
Oh, there we go.
So, against BKB, Swap and Entangle, but Swap does no damage, and these Entangles have not been proccing because the bear is never alive, so... At this point, Queen of Pain might just essentially be immortal while that BKB's up.
Yeah, one of those universal truths that we mentioned earlier. You can't do anything if you're dead.
This is true. This is true.
Applies to bears as well as heroes.
Unfortunately. As at least the bear can be summoned twice. But the Dire just going to take their time, wait for the Aegis to respawn, then I imagine they're going to take it. Magnus, 3.8k gold in the bank, about 1,200, 1,400 away from a refresher. But he might go for a BKB himself just to try to end the game ASAP. Still, if they want to play safe, they can just save it for the refresher. As, again, Dire seem to have all the advantage in the world in this game.
Yeah, so much gold. Like, when you get a Blink Dagger on your Lina and a Ghost Scepter on your Shadow Demon in 29 minutes, you know that you're doing well.
Pretty much as Leicester, another 3k gold in the bank. GPM almost at 700. This is quite ridiculous, as he only has 2 kills. If he had something like 7 kills, his GPM would be rivaling 750. As anytime you can get above 600, that is good. 700 is great, 800 is fantastic. But yeah, Leicester not being in too many kills, still almost 700 gold per minute, and he is going to claim another Aegis.
Yeah, I mean, he's unstoppable. I don't know if the Radiant can kill him right now.
Nice reactions by the bear.
Forget twice.
Yep, nice reactions by the bear. Gonna resummon him away. They blinked in, try to get the light strike rate, but just Lina waving her hands a little bit too long. But as this, here comes the push. Darkseer, what level are you, bro? Has that level 2 of wall. But Leicester doesn't care about wall while the rage is up. As the bear gonna get hexed! He summoned the bear back, and then he's gonna use it to split push, and then, well, at the very least he's buying a lot of time, and the bear will actually survive. So, good job wasting time with the Dire for a bit.
Bear too fast, GG, Ice Frog, please nerf.
Please. Ice Frog, please.
Push comes, though. There's nothing to stop the push here. Going to have to see a TP back from Frigolite and Steph Style in the near future here because I mean, what are they going to do? Oh, I like this bear move, though. Cutting off the creep wave.
Yep, they're going to use mass TPs back. They are going to all escape successfully. No, Steph Style managed to get hexed. I think he teleported to the tower, and that's why the TP literally took 10 years for the Rubik, so that's very unfortunate for the Rubik. And they're going to hold on to both of their towers, mid lane and the top lane. And meanwhile, Rubik's out of the picture. No threat for Magnus to have his reverse stolen, and actually Mag picked up a full-on mech. Pretty interesting. Again, indicates that they want to push in with his Aegis rather than playing in super safe with a refresher or anything like that.
Even after losing the Rubik there, I feel like that was actually a victory for the Radiant because the Dire were all grouped up right at this tier 3 mid tower, had the creep wave on their side, and using the bear to take out the mid creep wave and diverting attention to that tier 2 top just saved the Radiant another 5 minutes to get more front up. I mean, I don't know what it's going to do, but it was a small victory.
Yep, the bear might just be able to finish the AC right now. He's going to save her back. No, still around 600 gold away from 800 gold away from finishing the AC. Won't have it up anytime soon. Is there a gem in the pockets of anybody? Yes, there is, in the form of the Queen of Pain. Meanwhile, Leicester holding on to 5k gold in the bank, so even if he loses Aegis, we'll have another tier 4 item being delivered towards him. So the question is, can they actually defend this? Glyph is on cooldown. No, it's up. They're gonna have to glyph right now as Skewer is out of the way for a bit, and Leicester already taking more than half of his HP, but he still has Aegis gonna get earned up. And the question is, when will the Radiant want to engage? They might have to pop the glyph right now, as the Rex will fall. They're gonna have to pop the glyph. They're gonna pop the glyph at 10 HP, but it doesn't matter because anybody at this point can kill it. Here comes the first Entangle. Disruption gonna save him. RP gonna catch it. Couple of heroes gonna catch the bear as well as Fox. Unable to get the wall down. Darkseer is gonna buy back the Rex. Are still alive. TA gonna get bashed, bistled right in the face. And Leicester did not actually die. Still has the Aegis. They are going to take both barracks as Luna's going to blink ahead. They want to finish off Steph Style. Will finish off Steph Style at the cost of Queen of Pain, as Maglev Gank Train going to gank this Luna, who was, I think, just buying whatever she could. Bought a TP before she died. But middle barracks in exchange for 2 deaths. I think Rat, if they didn't dive, would have gotten away with 0 deaths.
Yeah, I mean, Quap still has 3,000 gold, so, well, 2,600, close enough. I mean, Lena's still at 1.5k. There's still a definite advantage here, and they killed the TA, very importantly, as she was starting to get that Crystallis up. She's starting to do a good bit of damage, and finished off the Darkseer before he could wall, so...
Yep, that might be an issue for the Dire, because, again, they have yet to deal with the wall. But Hart is now up on the Leicester, so he can tank it like a beast. How much time do they have left on the Aegis? About 3.5 to 3 to 2 minutes, I'm not too sure. Clock, very, very deceptive. I think it's like 2.5 minutes left on that Aegis. And the question is, are they going to push in with that Aegis? They probably should.
Yeah, the only thing they're missing is RP. It's going to be up in 30 seconds, as it is level 2, so... Man, yeah, it's looking scary.
It is, as the bear is going to call out the creep wave. It does have an AC, as he's going to use... he's just going to micro it away from the creep wave, looks like. Just constantly stutter stepping, so he gets all the gold. But the Dire looks like they don't even care about their tier 2. It's going to die nonetheless, and they're just going to try to end the game. RP will be back up in 2 seconds, and here might come the final assault that will tie up the series as Leicester going to initiate. He has the Heart, he has the Aegis, does not care. Disruption going on him. Here comes the wall, no vacuum to follow up. Tia immediately picks off the Shouting. She is going to work, might be able to pick off the Magnetar's Venture Spirit is coming around from the side. Fox gonna pop the Ghost Scepter. Here comes the RP. How did they let that happen? He just blinked back in. And Vestbomb gonna come in. No, it's not, as Lone Druid gonna pick off the Magnus. Queen of Pain's gonna die as well. Aegis is gonna respawn on the Lifestealer. Are the Radiant actually gonna turn this around? What the heck is going on?
Even after that huge RP, Lifestealer just so boss right now. So hard to bring down. Finally gonna get entangled and brought down after just, I mean, so long of just standing there like a boss. 5-man Team White having lost. Did anyone on the Radiant buy back? I think someone did, didn't they?
I don't think anybody bought back.
Wow.
I'm very confused. Because
Like,
nobody
wall?
ran into the wall. Like, literally nobody ran into the wall.
Yeah, the wall whiffed. How does that... What?
It's just TA killing supports. Like, nobody's business. And Vengeance Fair, I guess she swapped somebody in? I don't know.
I must have been the quad, because she went down very early, didn't even get her ultimate off.
Yeah, the TA, I guess, killed her. with the Rubik and the Venge, because Bear was just sitting on the background chilling. Darkseer was just sitting on the background chilling. As, yeah, Radiant gonna get a team wipe, and they are back in this game apparently. As Dire still have a huge edge, but still, I mean, they've essentially faced 2 team fights in a row where they have not been affected by wall. They've won one, and they lost the other. So, I don't know. I imagine the wall will hit one of these days.
Yeah, one of these days. And they'll remember that day for the rest of their lives as the day at which the wall finally did shit.
Yeah, look at the experience. It's about to take almost a 6 to 7k swing. Goldgraph gonna take about 4k swing in favor of the Radiant. Still down by 10k, still a huge amount. But Bear did not die. I don't know if he even lost the Bear, as he has the AC finished, and now he can probably start going for a Basher to keep the lifesteal down.
Yeah, something like that. Also, Mjolnir to clear out creep waves and give himself a little bit more of a defendability would be cool. They might finish off that pipe that he's since got the cloak sitting on. He's got a bunch of options open to him. Oh, Bear gonna get mad ganked again.
They're gonna open wounds him. They're gonna hex him. Bear's gonna get dead. As there's probably 1,000 gold being lost by the Bear thus far. As I thought I saw a Shivas for some reason. I guess I'm mistaken. Just a weird animation. It was probably just the Empower as the blue thing.
Yeah, probably the Empower. Magnetar, what is he sitting on right now? How much gold does he have? 2.6k, so not quite close to the refresh yet. I assume that's what he should go for.
And the Dire are gonna actually go in there. Lifesteal, if he dies, I don't know if he'll have enough for buyback. He probably will. I don't imagine it was 800 gold from Adept at this stage in game, although he is level 22. And Magnus will have to try to get a good reverse, but again, they're gonna have to face up against that wall if Foxox can ever hit one. And Basher was picked up by the Bear, so Lifesteal are gonna have a couple more issues now with the Ghost Scepter on the Darkseer, the fact that TA is charging in without caring, and now there's a Basher on the Bear.
Yeah, it's going to be a lot more difficult for them to win. I still feel like they've got the advantage here. Quap just...
Oh yeah, they definitely have the advantage.
Double damage on the Quap. She's going for that Shivas, it looks like, just for more magical DPS. Which makes sense. No one on the Radiant except for TA has the BKB.
Meanwhile, this could be a bit of an issue for the Radiant because they only have one Bear in their arsenal. As smartly by the Laundry, he's going to transfer the AC onto his hero. So at least if he loses the Bear right now, he will still have the AC in the picture to give the TA a lot more damage. Meanwhile, TA, Crystallis has buyback, so that could be a huge issue in this upcoming battle as Leicester going to charge forward. There's going to be some sort of crazy initiation. Wall is going to be popped. Again, not hitting anybody as the
Rubik just stole reverse polarity and used it.
But here comes an RP right back, going to hit everybody as the Raid just going to explode. No, Radiant, I think they're doing alright for now. No, they're going to explode. Never mind.
Yeah, they got 2 kills there. TA, Rubik went down. But buyback on 2 so far. Venge alive as well. Darkseer low, has to run away. Tower's going to fall. Question is, can they finish off the racks?
Yep, Glyph is on cooldown. They're going to finish off the racks. Here comes Luna canceling the stun. Magic Missile, nice disruption, going to save the life of the Luna for now, or prevent her from being exposed to any more damage. And the traps are going to be sprung. They want to chase this. The wall, once again, literally doing nothing. As Quinnipian going to take a bunch of damage from the TA, going to blink back to safety. Leicester manning it up against the Lundred is winning. Leicester manning up against the entire Radiant team. Where is his team? As, oh no, as it looks like Leicester is going to win 1v5 for the most part. TA is going to be open wounds. I think she did buy back. She dies right now. It could be all over. She did buy back. She's going to die. This should be GG.
Yeah, massive team fight there from the Dire. I mean, it started to look bad at the beginning. Rubik had stolen a reverse earlier, the previous fight, used it to pretty good effect, but managed to pull it around with that massive reverse polarity. Defensive swap there. Or, that was actually an aggressive, get me out of here, I'm going to put you into danger, Lone Druid swap, never mind.
All I can say is Flux. I am disappointed.
Yeah, seriously, I haven't seen him hit one. Did he even get any illusions off of that wall?
I don't
think he did.
I think he got one. And that's it. They just danced around it. These walls been, well, they are not very good, to put it mildly, as Venge is going to get cleaned up. She did already buy back. She's going to be dead for the next 50 seconds. GG's called, and we have a tied series 2-2 going to the last game. Hopefully the Radiant can look like they did in the first couple games, because otherwise it might be in favor of Around the Dark. Meanwhile, Around the Dark going to regain some of the momentum. Gonna go into the final game of this ATS Gaming tournament #1 Grand Finals 2-2, Rat in the Dark versus Tangoes, competing for around 2k euros worth in prizes in cash and gear. Brought to you by Story Series and Complet and ATS-Gaming.com. I'm B-Ball and B-Ball773 everywhere, YouTube, Twitter, Facebook. Where can they find you, bro?
They can find me, same thing, everywhere. It's Facebook, YouTube, Twitch at Kingdom Nerdia. So.
Yep, thanks for watching, guys, and we'll be back with Game 5 very, very soon. See ya.